Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So let me jump into the first slide here. So I have some slides, and then we're going to do an actual live demo of the CRM system. Just a couple of words about Synchrotech. Our tagline is that we are delivering advanced Dynamics 365 CRM functionality every day, and also that we are your down-to-earth Microsoft Dynamics 365 partner and cloud solutions provider. Our demo environment today is a Windows 10 virtual machine. We have an Office 365 demo tenant. So the demo company is called Contoso. There's Office 365 E5 licenses in this environment. Of course, we have the Dynamics 365 also. We're using the Enterprise Edition version 9.1. It's an online Dynamics 365. It does not include the latest greatest, which is not really out yet anyway, but coming soon will be the 2019 release Wave 2. So we're not going to talk about that at all. It's a live demo. You can ask questions. Just type your question into the chat window. Jerry Rizzuto is our moderator, and she will be monitoring the questions as they come in, and she will interject to let me know that there's a question, and I will address those as we go.
Hi, everyone. I'm here, Sorry, and I'll be watching that question and answer area. So please let us know if you have any questions. Okay.
Right. Thanks, Jerry. So I have some contacts, some demo contacts in the system, and you can see how the email comes right into the outlook of this demo persona, Jeff H. But also will be auto-captured into the CRM. Well, it won't be auto-captured into the CRM system until we until we create a record, like a lead or a contact record that has your email address associated with it. But we're going to show a couple of ways that we can track those emails with the Dynamics 365 app for Outlook, and then once the record is established, also with the auto-capture functionality. So then we're going to create contact records, opportunities, tasks from those emails. We're going to do it with the Dynamics 365 app in Outlook, and we're also going to do it in the web client. And then the script for the demo is that we're going to reply back with a proposal document, track the email in such a way that we'll know when and if you open the attached proposal document. So that's called email engagement, and is part of the embedded intelligence module of the sales. Also, this recording will be edited after the fact to hide any real contact information. Click. Okay, so again, it's going to be a short PowerPoint presentation followed by actual live demo of the CRM system. Again, if you have any questions along the way, just chime in or put your question into the chat window. So this is Microsoft Dynamics 365 for sales, and the theme of this presentation is to work smarter with embedded intelligence and also with the new unified interface. You can also work with the implement your best practices of your sales processes, your methodologies by customizing the out of the box or the business process flows within the system are very configurable. So we've done everything from insurance companies to carpenters unions to schools, all kinds of special business process flows. And the nice thing is that once you get your fields that you want to capture for each stage of the sales process, it makes it a lot easier to keep track of the information that you want to keep track of, make sure that commitments are being met at each stage of the sales process. So that's part of selling smarter and also more efficiently. So also the Office 365 integration is going to help you work more efficiently. with the new unified interface, which is going to be the default interface going forward for Microsoft Dynamics CRM, screen real estate has been optimized, navigation is being optimized, the responsiveness of the design of the user interface is designed to work on either the web client or a tablet or an iPad or a mobile device. So there's a lot of feature or design functionality went into making that work. So it's definitely latest, greatest user interface and user-friendly on any device. So the nice thing is once you design your user interface, it's going to work on any of the devices. Also, interactive dashboards are really a new powerful tool, and they work great in the unified interface. The interactive dashboards, the newer versions of the interactive dashboards aren't available in the old user interface. So we're going to show you how that works. And they're very easy to design and deploy. Embedded intelligence is mainly the theme of this presentation besides all the other good stuff. But we're going to touch on these three parts of it: the relationship assistant, email engagement, and auto capture. The timeline is part of the interface, the unified interface. So, excuse me, the timeline is great because it combines the automatic posts of the CRM system along with activities like phone calls and emails, and also notes, all in one screen, as opposed to having separate tabs like was in the old user interface. Also, editable grids. Oh, I forgot, the Zap Objects is an email reader, so that's a third-party application, and we're going to be raffling off a one-year subscription for one user to the email reader so that you can see how it works. And that's great for companies that have a lot of emails in their CRM system, and really makes more efficient use of your time because you don't have to sort through all the emails. There's great filtering capabilities, and they're just a lot easier to read. So, you know, there's always opportunities for third-party vendors to add in to the CRM, and Zap Objects is a partner that we work with, an independent software solution vendor, and they have some great products, and the email reader is one of them. Editable grids is something that you used to have to pay for by other ISVs, independent software vendors, but now it's a part of the product for free included, and it can work on a whole entity basis. I can show you that for leads, and then also on a subgrid basis, I'll show you that for contacts that are associated with accounts. Task flow is a new feature that used to only work on mobile, but now it also works in the unified interface and is a great way to quickly follow up with an opportunity or update a contact or add notes to a recent meeting. So the unified interface, I talked about editable grids. There's also a number of records. So I'm going to be referring back to this PowerPoint presentation as I go through the demo and try and make sure I cover everything. If you see things on this list and you have noticed that I missed them somehow during the demo, just again, raise your hand and ask a question and say, hey, did you forget to cover this? And I'll make sure I go back and get it. Recently viewed records, pinned records, relevance search, all great new capabilities inside the CRM system, very powerful. The stakeholders is a kind of an underrated feature, especially now with auto capture, because if you're either the lead or you're the primary contact on an opportunity, or you're one of the stakeholders associated with that opportunity, then when an email comes in, the auto capture will look at those records and see, you know, try and match up the email, and it'll show that tracked email. It'll actually show as an untracked email, but it'll show in your activity pane or timeline that there's an email in the CRM system waiting to be tracked, and all you have to do when you're in that record is click one button to track it. So it's another great way to get the emails into the system with little effort. and give you that 360-degree view of the customer. Timeline, we're going to show you how to create emails, phone calls within the timeline, and they will be good for, the emails will be good for that email engagement part of the demo. That lets you see, well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. We also throw in some workflows. This is an automated workflow that automatically creates a phone call when a lead is qualified to an opportunity. So we're going to talk about the interactive dashboard, and really just going to show you that more than talk about it. And this is a couple of quick slides on the embedded intelligence. So the three main parts of it are the relationship assistant, the email engagement, and the auto capture. So we'll be talking about these three things a lot today. So the relationship assistant over here on the right, you can see a couple of screenshots. One is saying that the opportunity close date has already passed, and the other one's saying that the opportunity close date is coming soon. There's also a whole bunch of other out-of-the-box relationship cards, and you can also customize your own relationship cards. But basically, it's looking at all the records in your system and seeing if you forgot to do something, if you may have missed something, if there's something coming up soon with regard to appointments, phone calls, tasks. Even cases where you have an opportunity and you don't have any activity on that opportunity, it'll let you know that there's a new opportunity, but there's no activities on it, so maybe you better just take a look. So in order to configure the relationship assistant, like I said, these are all the out-of-the-box cards over on the left. There was an email that was opened recently. There was a meeting that was happening recently. There's no activity on an opportunity, like I told you. And this assistant, I guess they renamed it from relationship assistant. You got to keep up. They renamed it from relationship assistant to just assistant. And it leverages the power of artificial intelligence to bring insights to your team in the context, right when they matter most. For example, if you're in that record, you can see these relationship assistant cards pop up and get a reminder that you may need to follow up on an opportunity, something like that. Email engagement, a couple of screenshots here on the right. The first one over here says email engagement, and that is when you're creating an email from inside of the CRM web client. It gives you an option to follow the recipient activity, and also gives you a couple other options to say, do you want to schedule this to be sent at a later time? So if you're like me sometimes and you're working late at night, but you really rather impress people and send an email at 6:30 a.m. and make them think you're getting up early, you can do it that way. If you know when somebody's going to be in the office, you can schedule the email to be delivered at a specific time. And also you can get a reminder, which will pop up as a relationship assistant card, an assistant card, that says, hey, you expected a, we'll remind you if this person doesn't reply by a certain date and time. And also there's a way to add email attachments and to see when and if they open the email attachments. So for example here, in the assistant area, it tells you that your email was just opened, and the same thing down here in the timeline area. This one says that you sent an email to this person an hour ago, but it's not yet opened. Auto capture, I mentioned earlier, is a way to track the email. I'm trying to find the right word. So it's not tracked, but it still shows up in your CRM system. So a tracked email becomes an email activity in your CRM system. So until it's tracked, it doesn't actually get into your CRM system, but this is a kind of a magical way that the email shows up in your CRM system on the user interface before it's actually tracked, which means before it's actually a record in your CRM system. And in order to get it to be a record in your CRM system, it'll show up here and say, it hasn't been tracked yet, but do you want to track it? And if you do, then you just click track. And until you do, you're the only person that's gonna be able to see it because you're the one it was addressed to. But it figures out based on the email which records it could be associated with. The business process flows, in this case, we're talking about business process flows for sales, so lead qualification, opportunity management. These can be configured any which way, so just because you see it out of the box and it doesn't exactly meet your needs, we can add additional stages, remove stages, add fields to stages, make certain fields required stages of the process. So it's very flexible and configurable, and we always advise to really think about who your best salespeople are and what those sales processes look like, and then configure the system, model the system to follow what those best practices are. We also have the LinkedIn Sales Navigator integration here that we're going to show you, and we're going to do all this in the next next 40 minutes or less. Okay, and including Office 365 integration. So that's the Dynamics 365 app for Outlook. We have Word templates, which can be used for such things like proposals, and we're going to show Teams integration. So the Dynamics 365 app for Outlook, you can add contacts to the CRM system. You can track your emails from there. You can create different types of records from there. Teams integration is fairly new. So if you're working with Office 365, you've probably heard about Teams if you're in the Microsoft world. This is where a lot of their collaboration technology is headed. So of course it integrates with everything, including Microsoft Dynamics 365. Zap Objects, here's a link on where to find more information about that. If you're interested in this, let us know and we'll put you in touch with our integrated independent software vendor, Zap Objects. They have some really great tools. They're inexpensive and just help with productivity inside your CRM system. The LinkedIn Sales Navigator, we're going to see a company match. We're going to see a profile, a member match. We can show how these people, persons, or companies are saved over from your CRM system to the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And also we can create custom lists, and then we can communicate with those leads, and that feedback can be put back into the CRM system. We have a couple other opportunities coming up in the future for additional training and insights on the CRM system. Click Dimensions is the email marketing engine for Microsoft Dynamics CRM. We're going to be doing a webinar demo with Joel Hinton of Click Dimensions on Tuesday, October 8th. And then we're also going to have a small business IT security workshop. This is a live, in-person, hands-on demo workshop. We have 2 dates for that in October. So jumping into the actual demo, I have a couple emails coming in from different directions. And this is our demo environment. So we see we jumped into the virtual machine. So this is a Windows 10 virtual machine, and so it's tied in pretty closely with this demo user. So the demo user is in Outlook, and we have a potential lead that just came in, and in this case the lead is coming from this person, ismith@synchrotech.com. So that's like, for example, a partner, or it's like a referral. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this system, take a look at this email in the system, because I should be able to see it under my iSmith coming in. So this is the new unified interface. I just hit F11 to go to full screen mode. So you get an appreciation that it looks a lot more like your tablet now, because there's no taskbar down at the bottom. There's no web URL up at the top. It's very responsive and it's mobile friendly, touchscreen friendly. And again, to optimize the screen real estate, a lot of the design features look the same in the web client as they do in the unified interface, in the mobile client. Oh, I don't know if I said that right. Okay, so this is a recently viewed record, and I just want to show you the timeline that there's a potential lead coming in from this referral source. So as of right now, it's not tracked, and I'm the only person that can see this email. But if I want it to be all right, I'm not
So
going to do it
Ian,
this
this
way.
is,
Yeah.
I have a quick question. So the reason that it did that is because it recognized the from email address as a contact in your database, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it works for any entity, as far as you know?
Mainly leads or contacts
Okay.
or opportunities. So if
Okay.
the contact is the primary contact of the opportunity, or if a contact is a stakeholder in an opportunity, or actually a stakeholder in a lead, then the email will be tracked to the lead, it will be tracked to the opportunity,
Okay. All right.
or the contact. So all of the above.
Okay.
So I'm going to actually go ahead and create this Steve Jones Garden State Tiles lead right from the Outlook client here. Sorry. So I'm going to say Steve Jones Garden State. There he is. Steve Jones Garden State Tiles. Okay, that's all the information I need. And basically I've created a new record, and I'm just going to go out. I'm going to show you the dashboards here first. So we have a couple different dashboards. So the sales dashboard, these are streams. So here you can just see all activities, all open opportunities, all open leads. And then this one, sales activity social dashboard. The cool thing about this one is it has an area where you can see all of the relationship assistant cards, and you can see if people have been opening your emails. You can see if there's open opportunities, if there's past due opportunities coming up soon. So I have lots of demo data in here, so I have lots of tiles that are waiting for me to respond. And then another dashboard, this one is definitely an interactive dashboard. It has one stream, and then it has an area where we have filterable charts. And once we start clicking on the chart, I can filter down. So every time I do that, I can see the filter accumulating over here, and I can see what type of records we're working with. And then I can clear those. So the thing about this stream here is it's just a list of all your open leads. And then if I wanted to filter it based on the type, based on the owner, based on the industry, I could do that. Now I'm not sure about Steve Jones yet, so I'm actually just going to open the most recent lead record, and I'm going to start trying to qualify this record. In order to qualify it, I'm going to need to get in touch with him, so I'm assuming somewhere along the way I'm picking up the phone number. And then I'm going to actually create a phone call for him. In the timeline. So this would just be a lead qualification phone call. Okay, so down here, it doesn't have a due date yet, and it's just telling you that there's no due date yet. But once I put in a due date, and if I say tomorrow, Friday the 13th, around the same time, gives me a little bit of time to make the call. So once I do that, you see it's going to tell me when the call is expiring or when it's due. When I'm working inside the new unified interface, one of the things that's missing is there's no back button. So a pro tip here is use your Alt arrow key left to go back, and that takes you back. All right, so I'm gonna look at one of these other records from the Outlook client coming in. And let's see, so this time we have Jerry is contacting us. So again, I'm going to go ahead and add that record. If it doesn't already exist, it'll let me know. So it says create a contact first to avoid duplicates. I'm going to go ahead and create Jerry as a lead. And the reason I'm doing another one is because the guy that I had from Garden State Tiles, I don't have his email, so I can't really demo how the back and forth will work with the email engagement. So that's why I'm going to go possible new opportunity, and whatever information I can gather at this time. Job title, I'll say sales director, company Syncra test. And we have our email, and we'll save and close. So now we'll go back into the CRM system. We'll go back to our dashboard. And again, once I have, if I'm working in a particular industry on that day and I have a call script, or I'm working on certain product service offerings, these product service offerings have been customized in this demo environment to be something that I'm familiar with, which is CRM type product service offerings or Microsoft stuff. So we're pretending like we're selling Microsoft services. And here we see the newest lead that just came in. So it's not really categorized yet by owner or by lead type, but I'm going to go ahead and work it because it's the most recent lead. So the first things I see is, some fields down here that help me identify what is the industry type, where did the lead come from, the phone number, okay, save it. Create a phone call. Okay, we just showed you how to create a phone call. So this time we would typically do a phone call here. I see that we don't have a product service offering. This is our product service offering usually. Okay, so, and this is our guided business process flow, and we can see the required fields have the red asterisks. So we're not going to be able to advance, and I should have showed you that, but if we tried to qualify this opportunity before we said what the product service offering is, that means we really didn't do a good job qualifying the opportunity. So that's one of the ways that the intelligence or the built-in best practice of the business process flow will prevent you from throwing unqualified leads over to the salespeople and having them kick them back and saying, I'm not sure this is a qualified lead because you're not telling me what we're trying to sell to them or what they expressed an interest in it. So now that let's say I did the lead qualification phone call, I also have, okay, so now I have a possibility to send them an email. So I think what we're going to do first is we're going to qualify the lead. What this will do is it will create a company record in the CRM system, as well as a contact record, and most importantly for the sales process is the opportunity record. And the opportunity record will enable a continuation of the business process flow or the guided business process, whichever we like to call it, a guided business process. So this is prompting me to enter an estimated close date and also estimated revenue. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to create a proposal document. So in order to create a proposal document, in this case, we're going to pretend it's a product company. So sometimes we're selling products, sometimes we're selling services. So in this case, we're going to add a couple of products so that we can generate a nice looking proposal. And then we're going to send that proposal as an attached email, and we're going to see if we can see when that person opens the email so that we would know when's a good time to follow up. Okay, so I've added my products. So it looks like the estimated revenue has been updated because I have it as system calculated. So now I'm going to generate the proposal from a Word template. So this is very similar to the old Word mail merge, except there's a lot fewer clicks. So that's our proposal document. Now I could have added these things along the way, and that would have come over into the document. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to save it to SharePoint. All right, I need to close this. Okay, so I'm in my opportunity. So this is part of the unified interface, all these tabs here. And remind me to go back. I was going to show you some of the tabs with the LinkedIn and the editable grids. Okay, so as of right now, I'm just going to show you the timeline. And we're going to create a new email. Okay, so right away you see the email engagement, and the default for an email that's created in the web client is that the recipient activity will be followed. You can opt out and say do not follow this particular email. You can send it later, and you can get me a reminder if they don't reply in the next certain time frame. Okay, so here I have my default email template, but I'm going to override that with, that's just my default email signature, but I'm going to override that with a template. And the template can either be in regard to the contact record, or it can be in, so it can be in regard to the recipients, or it can be in regard to the regarding, which is an opportunity in this case. So this is a proposal review template. And so here we have, thanks for contacting me about I prepared this proposal, take a look, let me know what you think. And I can put my email signature back in here. Okay, so I'm going to save that, and I'm going to add an attachment. So everything's good so far in terms of the email engagement. It'll work, and I can say send later if I want to. Like I said, if I know there's a certain time that's a sweet spot from when that person's going to be available. I can set a reminder for myself if they don't reply by you know, the next 5 minutes, because I'm a very impatient person. Okay, follow up. If they don't reply immediately.
No, you need to change the date. Oh well, it was
Yeah,
9/14.
I said I'm gonna. Oh, okay. So the default is it put some sanity into your. So you can't just say the default isn't going to be 5 minutes from now, but in this case, we're going to make it 5 minutes from now. Okay. All right. So make sure we save that, and then here is where we have a chance to add an email attachment. I'm just doing a time check. So interestingly, you could, if you had somebody emailed you another attachment and you wanted to forward this attachment, so if this email was already part of a tracked, if this attachment was already part of a tracked email, then you wouldn't have to do anything to add the attachment. It would just find the attachment within these records that you're already on. In this case, we're actually just going to create a new attachment by uploading the existing document. Okay, so there's our most recent attachment. And it's all ready to go. Send. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to send, I'm going to go back out to just look at a couple quick things. I'm going to show you the relevance search. So first, usually, so I'm on a record here, so usually I would go back out, close this record. This is the back button. All right, so it takes me back out to the dashboard, which is almost like my default home screen. So there's a couple nice things up here. One is the relevance search. So if I type in something like, it'll find all different records. So this is a indexed text-based search. It's very powerful. It searches all your records. There's very little you have to do. You can filter on it. It's super easy to configure. You can filter by date. You can filter by record type. I'm going to go to the Philadelphia Union team here. And I'm just going to look at the contacts. And I'm just going to show you that this is editable here. So I'm just going to change some records. And that's basically how easy it is. So you can imagine if there was checkboxes, phone numbers, all this information here, it's just super easy to edit. Besides the relevance search, which is one of my favorite features, you can also go to recently viewed records. Okay. And then you can also go to pinned records. So these are just great ways of getting around. So from this account view, I can look at the company profile. I can look at the, okay, so here's the company profile. So actually I go to summary, I go to my contacts subgrid, I go to this particular record. So now I can see both the company profile, and for the company profile, we can see recommended leads, we can see connections, we can see news. And then for the member profile, it tries to find the right person. Okay, all these cool people here. All right, gives you icebreakers, gives you a chance to get introduced to other people that, I mean, you guys know how this works. But basically, a lot of this is built right into the CRM system. We can save this lead or contact into our LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It's asking us where we want to save it. We can save it to a specific list. Now, once I save it to that specific list, then I can actually go view it in the Sales Navigator. One thing also I wanted to show you is you can send a message to that person, and this is like an in-mail. And once you do that, you can copy that message back to the CRM system. It'll be tracked as an activity. And the same with the notes. So if you're keeping track of your notes inside Sales Navigator, we should also note that you can see that the record is already saved in CRM. If the record is saved in CRM, then you'll be able to add these messages and notes back to the CRM system.
Ian?
Yeah.
We have a question. Did they replace the categorized search with the relevance search?
Yeah, so the relevance search is like so much better than the categorized search. It's super easy to configure, but it's like the next generation. So yes, I mean the categorized search still works, but the relevance search is like the next generation. Okay, so let's follow up and see if we can find our tracking on our emails. Actually, Jerry, did you open the email? I should be able to tell you if you opened the email, right?
Yes.
Sent the email. So now I'm going to go to my recently viewed records.
I haven't gotten the email, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, it didn't go through.
No, not yet.
Let's take a look. Email message. Okay, who did I send it to then? Oh, there's pending send, our friend, pending send.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so we'll demo this a different way. So what we want to do is see for emails that we've sent, let's take a look about the most recent emails that we've sent. So we sent one regarding this proposal. This is the subject. All right, let's go to this email. And so what we can see in this email is that it was opened and all the tracking information about when it was opened. And this doesn't say whether they clicked on the attachment or not. There was an attachment. So let's actually go back, proposal review for Microsoft. So what's that?
Brokers. Is that the,
yeah, Microsoft D365 customer service brokers. Remind me about that. All right, so I'm going to open this proposal for Keith. Trying to open it. There it goes. It's opening in my other window. All right, so there's Keith. All right, so when we go back to our demo environment, so this is the wrong opportunity. So let me go Dynamics 365, what?
It's the first one in the list.
Oh, this one, thank you.
Yeah.
So there you see, last opened just now.
Right.
So if I go to the email, I can see it was opened several times, but most importantly, it was opened just now. And same as we can do it in the subgrid for contacts, you can configure it whether you want it to be editable right here in the full view of the entity. So it makes it really quick to update your leads or contacts. In this case, it's leads, and I didn't let the contacts be editable at this level, but I put them as editable in a subgrid. So it's another quick way to update your data. Okay, so there's the opportunity. That's the power of the relevance search. Like, I didn't know all the information about the opportunity, but I knew which contact it was associated with, the primary contact. And there I see relationship assistant. Your email was just opened. So it looks like we got an email from Jerry. And what we can do is click on the Dynamics 365 app for Outlook. So very cool is that you can see that right off the bat, it's not recognizing the person who's on the email thread. So what it wants you to do is go ahead and create a contact for that person. So the first thing I'll do is add, I can add her as a contact or a lead. Normally I would enter them as lead, but in this case, I'm just gonna go add her as a lead. And I'm gonna say interest in CRM. And I don't know anything about the budget. I don't know anything about the time frame. The lead source, I'm going to say was social. And whoops. If I knew the company name, looks like the company name is Synchrotech. So I'm going to make up a name so we can create a new one. Okay. And there we see the lead. Teams integration. So I just created a team called Contoso, and then each one of these under is a channel. And then I connected the Dynamics 365 app. I just went down here and said, what apps do you want to integrate with your teams? And I was able to find the Dynamics 365 app. And once I did that, then I could create a channel. So I got customer service, I got leads. So let me create a new channel and call it Inside Sales. So here's my new channel, and I can add a Dynamics 365 tab for this channel. And I can select a particular entity, or I can select a view. So in this case, I'm going to say leads and open leads and save. And if you had a big client, somebody that you were interested in keeping up with, then you could say, give me a new channel. And let's just call it the Microsoft channel. And from here, instead of adding a view, I can add a specific account. So I say which entity. There we go. Okay, so you can have all your information about that particular account in that channel for the people that you want to make that available to. So here I'm getting a relationship assistant that this opportunity is due to close. This one that I sent most recently hasn't been opened yet. So you can see if you're monitoring this this proposal, this project. And this is at the account level. This is bubbling up from the opportunity. So if I went back to my email and I open this one, then I'd also get that message that, hey, your email just got opened. Not sure how far I need to go with that. Refresh. So here you can see that the email was just opened. Now, typically you're going to be going into these opportunities and looking at them anyway to follow up, and you wouldn't be always having to just sit and wait. But if you wanted to sit and wait for somebody to open, you could do that. And then, of course, you could call them right away and say, hey, did you just open my opportunity or proposal? Or oh, the auto capture I didn't cover. Okay, so let's check out the auto capture. So I got an email right here. And this email, well, let me just send an email from and test auto capture test and send that. So a nice thing about auto capture again is it'll come into my inbox. So without me having to do anything in my inbox, if I go to CRM, so here you'll also see an untracked email. And then that's because I had this particular contact record as a stakeholder. So it's either the primary contact of the opportunity, and because I don't have the email address of the primary contact, I just put myself in there as a stakeholder. And then when I sent that email in, auto capture associates it with wherever it finds that email address. And now I can track that email here. This is where we configure the relationship assistant. So here's the relationship assistant, the email engagement, and the auto capture. The assistant, if I go ahead and click configure, there's a boatload of cards that can be configured. So almost anything you can imagine, and I think you can create custom ones also. But if there's a recent meeting, if somebody opened an email, and it gives you a preview of what what the card's gonna look like. If there was a recent meeting and you want people to add notes, if there's no activity with an opportunity, so this is kind of where the intelligence comes in. Like you might not realize, oh, I got a new lead, I got a new opportunity, but I didn't add any activities there. It's like, hello, you need to follow up with this lead or follow up with that opportunity. If you missed the close date, if there's a close date coming up soon, if there's anything that's due today, a task, an email, an appointment. So all these things can be turned on or off, configured. You can make them priority. This is where we set up the email template. So this was a proposal review for opportunity. So it's simple, old-fashioned email template in CRM. But we saw how it worked with the new capability to draft the email from inside a CRM, and then also use the template, track it, add an attachment, track that. We also could have set a reminder to say if somebody doesn't reply to it by a certain time. I think we actually did that. But if somebody didn't reply to that email in a certain time, we would get an email, a relationship follow-up. So again, no questions. I'm going to close it here. Hope everybody enjoyed the show today, the presentation, and please email me with any questions, any feedback. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out today to stay tuned, to hang in there with me throughout the hour. It's my pleasure to present this to you, and hope to be talking to you soon. I'm going to end it here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Talk to you later.